Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's lesson on your business English course. And this week we are looking at advertising. Now, for Megan's class, this is week 10, and for my class, this is week 12. So, what are we looking at today? Well, first we will have a general look at advertising. Then, more specifically, we will look at mail shots and press releases. Okay, so let's have a look at advertising in general. Can you tell me what this is? I'm sure you know what it's for. Do you know its name in English? A hook. This is an important word for what you will now read about advertising. Let's read. The main reason for advertising is to persuade the public to buy a certain product. Persuading and convincing someone to buy something is not as easy as it sounds. To produce an effective advert, you have to have a hook. And choose your vocabulary carefully. Effective adverts use positive words, a hook that stands out and gives the reader a good feeling about the product. They ignore any negatives. Positive words like this: happier, more attractive, healthier, good for you, more successful, thinner, less stressed, smoother. All positive words. Effective adverts convince you that you must buy the product being advertised in order to improve your life. Again, a hook. And we already looked at the words and phrases. So, it's like fishing. You are trying to catch your customer's eye and attention through advertising. Now, what way can people advertise? Well, there are many ways, of course. Look at these words. Label each word number 1 for advertising media. Okay, if the word is an example of advertising media, it's number 1. Okay, maybe you want to take a piece of paper and simply draw 3 columns, 1, 2, and 3, and you can write the words there, okay? Because I will give you the answers here, okay? You do not need to submit this one. So the idea is you categorize all this advertising vocabulary into 3 groups. 1, advertising media. 2, methods of advertising. Or 3, verbs to do with advertising. Okay? So please press pause while you do this exercise. Press pause now. Okay. I hope you have completed it. Here are the answers. Okay. Now, maybe there are some words here that you have not seen before. My advice is you use a dictionary or Google Translate to help you. I do want to make a comment here. Billboards in American English, hoardings in British English, they say. I think generally we all say billboards these days. Okay, now let's consider the different advertising media: cinema, exhibitions, the internet, outdoor advertising, point of sale, press, radio, and television. Okay? Think about these media. Which of the methods do you connect to which media? Again, I will give you the answers, but first, write on a piece of paper 1 to 8 all the different categories of media and think which of these you associate with these media. Okay, you can use the same one more than once. And here in red, I've included 2 more: mail shots and press releases. Okay, so press pause to do this now. And when you are ready, we will have a look. So first, which ones do you think you would associate with the cinema? Well, in the cinema, you can experience commercials, you can see posters, and maybe in the films you watch, there is product placement. This is when a product is very visible in a film, and subconsciously, people watching the film will want their product. Okay, next. What about exhibitions? We're thinking trade exhibitions here, trade fairs. Okay, well, here you would probably see free samples so people can try or test your product, and of course leaflets or flyers with information about your product. On the internet, pop-ups, those annoying things that that disturb us when we're trying to do work. Banner ads, more annoying things that appear around our screens when we are working. Viral advertising, well, this has become massive with social media. And here are our mail shots. A mail shot is an advertising campaign that is sent to a database of existing customers or potential customers. Next, outdoor advertising. What can we see there? Well, billboards. This is a billboard. And of course, leaflets, flyers, posters, and sponsorship. When we watch sports, especially, we can see clearly sponsorship on the sports people's jerseys, another means of advertising. Point of sale. In other words, the shops, the stores, the place you buy the products. Well, here you could maybe get some free samples, like here you see people trying some chocolate. Maybe it's more difficult to resist buying the chocolate after you taste the sample. And of course, in shops and everywhere, you can pick up leaflets, flyers, or see posters. In the press, advertorials. Of course, there's normal adverts, and advertorials, adverts that seem almost like they are an information article. And here we would put our press releases, also a written press release. On the radio, you can hear commercials and maybe a press release. It could be recorded as well. We will look at press releases later in this lesson, but it is basically a news bulletin styled document released by a company. And on television, of course, commercials, product placement. Again, we can see products in our TV programs, sponsorship. For example, companies sponsor the weather forecasts and things on television. And again, a press release. A press release could be reported in the news. Now, we're going to do some listening. WPP is a world leader in marketing communications. Mindshare is part of the group, and Marco Rimini is its head of communications planning. Here he is. Please listen and think. What reasons are there for advertising apart from selling a product? Okay, there is a video here and it has subtitles to help you. Okay, so you can just take a note. In your pad, I will tell you the answers during the lesson. So the question is, what reasons are there for advertising apart from selling a product?
Unit 5, Advertising, Track 31. What are the key elements of a really good advertising campaign?
When I answer the question of what really makes a good advertising campaign, I always go back to the beginning and ask the question, what is the person who's paying for the campaign trying to achieve? What is that person's objectives? What is it that that person wants to happen as a result of spending money on this advertising campaign? So in order to decide whether it is good or bad, it is first of all most important to understand what it is that the campaign must try and achieve. Some people might say, well, that's obvious, to sell more goods, to sell more services, to sell more bottles of Coca-Cola or jeans, and often, of course, it is simply to sell more of a product, but not always. Sometimes it is to change the image of a company. Sometimes it is to change people's views of an issue. Sometimes it is to get people to drink less alcohol, to do up their seatbelts, to change the way in which they use energy. So good or bad advertising campaign depends on what it is there to achieve.
Okay, well, you can repeat this if necessary, and I will also put a YouTube link in Shobi if you want to watch the full video there. So, do you have the answers? You can check your answers here. This is a tape script of the conversation, the interview. Press pause to read this. Press pause now before I give you the answers. So, the question was, what are the other reasons, apart from selling a product, to invest in advertising? Well, sometimes it is to change the image of a company. Sometimes it is to change people's views of an issue. Sometimes it is to get people to drink less alcohol, to do up their seatbelts, or to change the way in which they use energy. Okay, I hope you got that. All right, it's time for a break. We will have more listening, so go and have a cup of tea or coffee and your biscuits. I have to mention the biscuits or Megan will not be happy. Okay, see you shortly.